my song. Let's sing it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's insane. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah!
Yo, 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 it's Tuesday, motherfuckers, and we are celebrating the best in animation with Pixar's Monsters, Inc. Oh, yeah, baby. The original, not the prequel, the original. Monsters, Inc. Before Wreck-It Ralph made it even better with the archetype of the big, strong monster man protecting the little cute girl. We had Monsters, Inc. do it, and oh boy, is this movie glorious. Can't wait to talk about it. Anyway, I'm your boy, Just Blaze Snyder, coolest man alive, broadcasting under the neon lights of Blacklight District Studio, and I cannot wait to celebrate some incredible animation with you. Yesterday, we listened to Slave to the Grind by Skid Row for Music Monday, and tomorrow, we're talking about reading one of my favorite comic book runs of all time, even though I don't think it's like one of the greatest period, like, you know, in terms of like overall, but I really loved the three times a month era of Spider-Man, written by a ton of different writers who I really like, including Joe Kelly, and it's called Brand New Day. We're going to talk about that one tomorrow. I think it's a really great place for people who are into Spider-Man, who might be thinking about jumping in to read the book. I think it's a great place for you to start. Great artists and tons of great writers. And then Thursday, I got a live action pick. It's The Transporter. I just shared it with my 11-year-old son recently. Perfect age to enjoy the quintessential action movie that is The Transporter. And then Friday, we got a wild card. I am calling it's Penn and Teller's Bullshit, which is funny because I am not the person who I was when I started watching that show, and but I still love it for a lot of different reasons. It's interesting as I've become more open-minded. I would tell you, I don't know, maybe a good 60 to 80% of their episodes are all actually bunk. Like them saying it's bunk, they're the ones that are bunk. But it's very funny. It's an interesting time capsule. Interesting because the type of person Penn is. Very honest, intelligent person who's trying to rationalize everything. And through that lens, seeing the rationalization being done of some things that are real in Penn and Teller's Bullshit, and the demystifying of some things that are real in real ways, usually against the system, they are often right. And I just love Penn Teller. Penn Jillette. He's a hero of mine. And I want to celebrate the show, even though it doesn't necessarily speak to me the same way it did anymore. It sounds like that much more fun to have a conversation about it. Okay, so that's a Friday. And then Saturday, I don't know what I'm doing for my Saturday show right now. I'll figure it out. Last week, though, I finally covered The Muppet Show, the new Muppet Show with Sabrina Carpenter on Disney+. It's excellent. There's all sorts of things talked about in and around it, and sort of some of my associations with writing some of the things, and some of the things that's been going on behind the scenes, as far as I understand. Check that out, especially if you're a big Muppets fan. And the week before then, I had a guest on. I don't usually do that. I had my buddy Digger Mesh on the show to talk about Toy Fair and to give some perspective between like when he was coming at the Toy Fair in like the early 90s, and then here we are like 30 years later. What's the difference? What's the fucking toy situation? What has become of all of the toys? You can reach me at JBS at blacklightdistrict.studio, which is my company. We make awesome comic books and incredible music. Don't believe me? Visit blacklightdistrict.studio right now and see for yourself. Give you $5 if you hate it. All right, let's get into this incredible piece of animation any second now. But last and most importantly, I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Care Bear stare to all you guys out there listening. Now let's enjoy an animated classic that I like to call Monsters Incorporated. You know what I like the best about Monsters Incorporated? It's all the monsters, man. I just love the monsters. Released in 2001 by Pixar Animation Studios. Walt Disney Pictures, I think, was distributing them maybe at that time, Stu. Leading actor is John Goodman as Sully, the big baby blue and purple pink monster. And then Mike Wazowski, played by Billy Crystal, the one-eyed green monster. Um, some other major supporting characters. You got Mary Gibbs as Boo, little Boo. You got Steve Buscemi as Randall, the main bad guy, opposite Frank Oz as his like sidekick assistant. And you got James Coburn as Waternoose. Rest in peace. Love Coburn as Waternoose. And Jennifer Tilly playing Celia. She's got a great voice. Good choice. It's directed by Pete Docter. Pete Docter is so fucking talented. We'll talk about some of the other things that he's done in a little bit, like Up. Oh, I love Up. Producers and other personalities, you got Darla K. Anderson, executive produced by John Lasseter, of course, and music by the incredible Randy Newman. I love Randy Newman. He's become so synonymous with the Toy Story thing and the Pixar thing. You got a friend in me. I love LA. Sharp people got. These Family Guy has been goofing on him for years. But I love Randy Newman. Randy Newman is really a talented musician and writes a lot of very funny, very charming songs. And there's some stuff in here that's worthwhile. We got the Academy Award for Best Original Song, Randy Newman, If I Didn't Have You, which is cute. This absolutely helped solidify Pixar's dominance in the early 2000s in animation. And of course, spawned the prequel Monsters University, which is good, but not as good. And I literally wrote a sequel to this film, a Monsters Incorporated 2, that was pitched to Boom Studios and was actually on the docket for Joe Books as well, if they ever decided to get the Monsters Inc. license, because you have to pay for all these licenses. So I never got a chance to do it, but I wrote a really legitimately great sequel to the movie. I've I tried to sort of I was hit with we're not allowed to accept things as people might sue us with ideas, and I'm like, no, just take these ideas. I want to see this as a movie. I don't have to write it, just do it. And it also, I only watched a little bit of this. I didn't really like the Disney Plus series Monsters at Work. I don't know if you guys cared for it, but it did not grab me. At the time, it grossed 579 million worldwide, which is like fucking a lot if you take into consideration that time has passed. It introduced advanced fur rendering technology. Sully's 2.3 million animated hairs was like, no, this hadn't been done before. And the original concept centered more heavily on adult workplace satire. One of Pixar's most emotionally resonant early films. Definitely. I mean, it was my favorite, hands down, for forever. Wreck-It Ralph came along and did something very similar. I thought a little better. Or at least in a lot of ways. The concepts behind Monsters Inc. but the concepts behind Wreck-It Ralph are really great too. That's why it kind of just edged it out for me. But this is one of my favorites, and for a while, it was my absolute favorite. We used to watch this all the time. And ultimately, it explores fear, corporate systems, the power of laughter. I mean, it's kind of crazier than that, because what it's ultimately exploring conceptually is the idea of a system of invisible beings predating upon children, predating upon their emotions, getting energy out of their fear or their joy, which is the other way you can do it. You don't have to just get energy from fear. You can get energy from positive things. Considering the world that has just been revealed to us by Jeffrey Epstein, and the world that I've fucking known about, because you could find out if you just research and look into things just a little bit fucking fearlessly for a second, you could know too. You could have all known. For years, you could have all known. You guys chose not to know. I chose to know, so I knew. And that's what so many people are out there going, yeah, I'm not affected by this because I've known about this for a very long time. It is scattered amongst the world, the landscape, the films and the TV, like Monsters Inc., which oddly seem to have very deep and powerful parallels with the kidnapping and exploitation of children to feed upon their energy. It's really a crazy coincidence. Crazy coincidence. Like, it makes me think all of the original Pixar movies may have been made by Freemasons, may have been made by Illuminatis, or any of these other fucking secret groups. You have no idea how many secret groups there are, because that's the whole thing about secret groups. A lot of these secret groups don't have a name. Literally, there are multiple secret groups that don't have a name. I'm in this secret group without a name. Oh, is it my secret group without a name? We like to call it Bob. So when we meet other people in the secret group without the name, there's a lot of really high level intelligence to the way the world of Monsters Inc. Has been built for the film. For those of you who have never seen Monsters Incorporated, the premise is very simple. These monsters are clocking in, clocking out at Monsters Inc., which is a power plant. The power plant goes into the human world through these doors that are replicas of closet doors to children's rooms. The closet door is powered up, it opens up in the factory, and then they walk into the child's room. They go up to the child, attempt to scare the shit out of them, and they have an assistant friend working on the other side, sucking all of the energy from having scared that child and putting them into these yellow containers of energy. And this is how Monstropolis is powered. Monstropolis is powered by our screams. It's powered by our fear. They're freaking out the kids, and then they're powering people up. Boo is somebody who's like especially susceptible to the scariness of the Randall character played by Steve Buscemi. And so Boo is supposed to be um, taken in, like kidnapped and brought into Monsters Incorporated, so that they can just have her chained to a table and be scaring her, and scare her over and over again. She ends up hooking up with Sully, who she finds to be pretty. Like, she likes how he looks. And so she like takes a shine to him, even though she's scared of the Randall character. So a whole sort of buddy situation, so you got Billy Crystal and Sully, who are like having trouble and struggles because they're friends, and it's like a workplace difficulty. But then Sully, basically falls for this little girl and knows that he's supposed to protect her, even though they're very afraid of the humans. He knows, like, I can't let anything happen to this thing. She's innocent. He can tell that she's innocent and she needs to be protected. And that whole thing, oh man, god damn it, fucking John Goodman. I just saw a video of him last night talking about how he got into acting through Satanism. Fucking so disturbing. So disturbing. But anyway, John Goodman, the actor who got into acting because of Satanism, he sees good in this little girl, and he's trying to protect her, and they're trying to get her back home, and and basically stop this thing from being discovered. And during the course of the movie, actually, for the people who haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil all the little ends and bells and whistles of it, because there's plenty of other things to talk about besides that. It's got an 8.1 on IMDb. It deserves better, but an 8.1 on IMDb is pretty good. I just mentioned James Coburn and Jennifer Tilly, but you've got Bob Peterson playing Roz. Bob Peterson was wait, hold on. I don't want to fuck up my info. Is that not the same guy? Yeah, Bob Peterson's a writer, actor. He's been in a bunch of the other things too, like Finding Nemo. He plays Mr. Ray. In Monsters Inc., he's Roz. In Up, he's Dog, and he's also Alpha. Okay, yeah, you got John Ratzenberger playing the Yeti. Now, one of my favorite things that happens in Monsters Incorporated, and the favorite pieces of lore that I was also building on in my follow up, my sequel that I did, was the fact that cryptids like the Yeti were known in Monstropolis to be monsters that had been exiled. And there's a part where they're trying to exile the main characters, and they end up meeting characters on the other side of the veil in the human world, played by Ratzenberger. You've got the Yeti. He's amazing. I mentioned Frank Oz playing Fungus, the number 2 to the main bad guy. Bonnie Hunt's got a little part in here. Roger Bumpus is the news anchor. Um, so writing wise, and I mean during this time, the early days, the writing for the Pixar stuff, they came to have what's called the Pixar Brain Trust, which was filled with all their best writers, producers. And this screenplay is credited to Andrew Stanton. I am such a huge fan of Andrew Stanton. Let me tell you. Not only is he an incredible writer who has written some of the best Pixar stuff. He did directed and wrote John Carter, which I think is incredible. He did the story for Toy Story 3. He did invented the characters and did the screenplay for Wally. He's also screenplay and original story characters for Finding Nemo. Um, and when he worked on Toy Story 2 and A Bug's Life, and their early stuff as screenplay writer, and he is genuinely one of the most talented people on planet Earth that I have come across. And Pixar is filled with some of the most talented people on Earth that I have ever come across, including Mr. Pete Docter. And Pete Docter, holy shit, man, what a fucking talent Pete Docter is. I just really like his sensibilities. I think really come through very clearly when you see like sort of like where his energy has been felt the hardest for felt the strongest. He did Soul, the more recent one with Doug, not with Doug, with Jamie Foxx. The Soul Pixar movie, which I think is very good. Um, he worked on Inside Out, original story by screenplay by. He did Up, which is perhaps one of my favorites. And he has the original story credit for Wall-E. Not to mention being, one of the big deals here, helping to get Monsters Incorporated off the ground, which is one of the greatest ever. And of course, Toy Story. Pete Docter worked on that stuff as well. A lot of these guys, this was them. This is what the Pixar world was their whole world. But all of these guys were given opportunities to show their true talents beyond, and I'm so glad that they did. You've also got Daniel Gerson on here, who is a little bit less known to me, even though I've seen his name, but like, I haven't dwelled on him too much. But like he did Big Hero 6, which I think is really solid. Monsters University, which is solid. Um, some Prep and Landing stuff. If you've never seen the Prep and Landing Disney material, it's fun Christmas stuff. Um, so he came from like writing one episode of Duckman and the one episode of Something So Right and the New Addams Family. But eventually, I guess he found his way to Monsters Inc. and to working on some of these things with those people. He's not as big of a deal for me as some of these other people. Um, it's interesting. There's four, one, two, five people with original story by credits. Pete Docter, Jill Colton, Jeff Pidgeon, and Ralph Eggleton all have original story by. Jill Colton. Yeah, Jill's worked on some stuff. She just did Abominable, Open Season. So she didn't she was only at Pixar for a moment, and then she's like involved in the Open Season franchise and Abominable now. Interesting. And then, like, I don't recognize these names. Like Pete Docter, I could tell you, and Andrew Stanton. Jeff Pidgeon, kind of recognize his name. I think he might be more associated with the. Okay, yeah. See, he's still working on Turning Red. This is animation department. So he's an animation department guy, and he's got working story credit on this thing. Additional crew, art department, and writer. Tales from Radiator Springs story. Your Friend the Rat lifted. Interesting, yeah. Disney animated storybook, Toy Story additional writing, original story by for Monsters Inc. That's crazy that he's got credit here, but he's never really written anything else. So what about Ralph Eggleston? Oh, Ralph Eggleston died in 2022, and he wasn't that old. That's a bummer. And let's see, I guess he's another art department guy, animation department guy, who did a little bit of writing. Incredibles, Monsters Inc. Again, him. Oh, he did For the Birds. That's a Disney Pixar. I mean, a Pixar animated short for the birds. There's a whole bunch of birds sitting on this wire, and he comes and sits in the middle of it. It's funny. I seem to remember that I knew that the guy who'd worked on For the Birds had worked on Monsters Incorporated, and I remember being excited about that. So you really just have the most wonderful, wonderful cast and just creative people working on this thing. Pete Docter directed it, and again, that's Up and Inside Out and Soul, but also he had Lee Unruh, who co-directed it, and Lee Unruh is a big name within Pixar, and now Disney, and there's a bunch of things that I can point to that Pete has done that you'd probably be super into. Hold on, should I do writer or director? So like he worked a little bit on Toy Story 3, and Coco was his original story for Coco, was by Lee Unruh. And like I said, Toy Story 3, I think is really good. And then as a director, Toy Story 2 he co-directed, Monsters Inc. he co-directed, Finding Nemo he co-directed, Toy Story 3 he directed, lead director, Coco he directed, and the George Lucas Talk Show was one episode in 2024. That's interesting. Coco 2 in development. I didn't know about that. That's cool. So Lee Unruh, I mean, like, just the amount of really talented people working on this film is kind of over the top. David Silverman also gets a co-directing credit on here as well, and dude has done a lot of stuff with The Simpsons, especially like in recent times. Like the past decade, he's been doing lots of Simpsons stuff. But prior to that, leading into this, actually that's not true because he started with the Simpsons Tracy Ullman shorts. So he was actually working on like the early days of the Simpsons. And then he did Monsters Inc. co-directed, and then when they did the Simpsons movie, they brought him in to direct it. And the Simpsons movie's excellent. Really, like if you haven't watched the Simpsons movie, which I know some people might go like, why would I bother to watch the Simpsons movie? Like, what else is there for me to do there? Oh man, it's great. The Simpsons movie is excellent. So let's see. Am I missing anything here? Monsters Inc. I said my important things about the movie. Podcast bulletins. And we talked about introduce the fur technology. Yeah, I talked about all that shit. Okay, so then I guess that means only one possible thing. It means we've reached the end of today's show. Woohoo! If you ain't listening to my crazy esoteric wisdom podcast, Everything They Don't Want You to Know, every Sunday, you should be doing something about that and listening. Find out why we're creeping on 500,000 downloads a month, baby, and rising. Plus, if you love music, you need to check out our third podcast, All Your Favorite Bands Suck, available everywhere but Spotify. Celebrating every genre of music and eventually all my favorite bands in the world. There's 54 bands so far and still a lot more to come. I just did Grandson, one of my favorite recent artists. Anyway, that is it. You can go. I love you guys. JBS at BlacklightDistrict.studio. Thank you for listening to the end of the show. I will see you tomorrow celebrating one of my favorite comics on another fucking awesome episode of The Coolest Alive.
You've been listening to Coolest Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snyder. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent entertainment recommendations. Thanks for listening.
It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's it, say. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah! It's my favorite part. Isn't it heavy? I played that. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Coolest alive. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Stay with your tribe. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Revenge of the Geeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Week after weeks. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Laughing with you. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And crying sometimes do. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Spelling it out. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Making you shout. I'm a genius. I got lyrics coming out me bum for days. You like that? It's a kazoo solo. I played that too. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Talking some shit. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Living the shit. My voice is fucking awesome. Food in our mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Get in the mouth. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Tell all your friends. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Call right on text. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Raising the bar. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Straight to the stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's starting soon. Straight to the top. Awesome. Passing the moon. It's gonna be fucking awesome. On with the show. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ready, set, go. It's going to be fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Just wait. You'll see. You'll all see.
You'll all see.
The podcast playground.